Thank you for checking out crypto.chartguys.com, the source for technical analysis in the cryptocurrency world. We are proud to announce our own crypto alert system designed to give you the most critical technical trading information possible no matter where you are. Keep your eyes on the market with mobile or email alerts for MACD crosses, RSI levels, and even inside bar alerts for dozens of coins across multiple exchanges. New features and proprietary ChartGuys indicators are already in development. Our alert system is very easy to customize and utilize, so don't hesitate to sign up for the most effective crypto trading tool on the market at crypto.chartguys.com. Hello everyone, checking in on things. We're going to be looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Ripple. Ethereum continues to steal the show as Bitcoin and Litecoin struggle a bit. But we are watching for a key support level here on Bitcoin right now, 14,000. So that level is the level that we are watching as we have bounced off of it twice. It's the low of this pullback and a double low at this point. So from a daily perspective, we have our bull break that resulted in some nice follow through to the upside, and always going to be comparing what's the bull volume on the way up, what's the bear volume on the way down. At this point, it does still favor the bulls. If we were to see increasing bear volume on a dump, that might be, that might shift our perception. But as of right now, we have higher lows. And when we find a support, if it's 1400, the bulls would love that little double bottom and convincing turnaround for the bulls. But if it breaks, we will likely see a flush and we'll likely be heading down towards 13,000. So the must hold support level to keep the daily higher lows is 12,500. And that was that low down here. So anything above that is technically still a higher low. There's just differences in terms of what it's going to look like with regards to volume and how significant do we pull back, how close do we get to the support. Again, if we were to pull back right here and start bouncing, this daily chart still looks just fine for the bulls. If we flush down to 1300, it's a different looking chart. So here we just had an inside bar bear break as the day just changed over. So it's all about this 14,000 battle. And to be honest, I'm surprised the bulls have held it at this point. And one reason that you'll see the bulls hold things, if you look at the 15-minute time frame, the RSI at this point, as we were down at 14,000, was already down in the low 20s. So you got to figure, if we're going to break 14,000 and flush, and the RSI is already in the low 20s, that 15-minute RSI is going to get down into the teens and potentially the single digits. And that doesn't happen very often. So what we see are these short-term little bounces of the 15-minute time frame, every single one forming just another lower high, and it keeps those shorter-term RSI levels manageable to a degree where they're not extremely oversold. They see little bounces and then they head back down, all the while the longer term time frames are getting more oversold. So this 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin, if we break this 14,000 level, the flush is going to take us right to this oversold level. So the closer we get to 13,000, the more in the oversold zone we're going to be for this candlestick. So I'm going to be setting an alert for the 4-hour oversold RSI, and we'll see if that gets fired off tonight. But as of right now, the bulls are still holding that level, but they haven't done anything to prove anything because they just formed a lower high on this bounce. That's at 14,360. And until we see a higher low and a higher high to give the bulls some life and some hope, we're just going to be patiently waiting and watching 14,000. So there's a couple ways to play this. Personally, I think the way to play it is playing Ethereum. Ethereum's been a raging bull the past few days, and a couple of days ago I said, Ethereum's already seen, I think, 7 green days in a row. How often do we see 8 green days scrolling back? And the answer is not often, and this is one of the most bullish, if not the most bullish run we've seen with this many green days in a row. And you'll be hard-pressed to look back in the history here and find this many green days in a row. So the bulls are definitely putting out a statement right now, and they've seen a huge move. And what we're seeing is the only real weakness in Ethereum is caused by the correlation to Bitcoin. And obviously Ethereum is breaking this correlation left and right to favor the bulls, but it is the kind of correlation that is going to pick up when we dump on Bitcoin. So if we dump on Bitcoin, I'm anticipating a dump on Ethereum. And if we look at the hourly time frame, we have seen some significant pullbacks that were caused by Bitcoin weakness. So on this pullback, we pulled back from about 1190 down to 1120. That's a $70 drop and a beautiful entry opportunity. So my mindset is to go with the most bullish name and get in on those dip opportunities when Bitcoin flushes. So I'm sitting here with bid orders set on Ethereum, hoping that Bitcoin flushes down here to give me a good entry opportunity in Ethereum, because again, Ethereum has not shown us any sign of weakness aside from what is tied to the correlation to Bitcoin. So here on the daily time frame, the bulls are continuing strong. certainly overbought. We know consolidation is coming. I'm not going to be surprised to see Ethereum down near $1,000 again, perhaps even in January. It all depends on when we start to consolidate, when our temporary top is hit. But we are due for, a multiple day significant pullback. Significant in terms of percentage drop from that high. So here on the 4-hour time frame, we are establishing higher lows every step of the way. These are these flushes that are gifts. Look at this bounce, the 4-hour time frame, 950 over to 1150. That's almost a 30% bounce in 8 hours. Then we had another one, a little bit less significant, 1117, and we're right back up to 1214, almost a $100 bounce there. And on the breakout, and I played Ethereum today on this breakout, and I used the order book to time that entry. So here's an hourly inside bar forming right now to be keeping an eye on Ethereum. Look at this hourly inside bar. Bull break at 1214.50. There we go to all-time highs. Next thing you know, this is actually the 4-hour candlestick, so that's a 4-hour inside bar. But within that 4 hours, the inside bar alerted 1214 all the way up to 1297. So we're watching consolidation. It's healthy still for the bulls. Our topmost support is 1244. And looking down now on the 15-minute time frame, we can see that we're seeing a healthy consolidation pattern. It is some lower highs and lower lows, but it is from where we're coming from. You can see the hourly chart that consolidation is not significant at all at this point. So my bottom line is the bulls are in full control on a correlated pullback with Bitcoin dump. Look to get in these bounces because they are significant and you're going with the trend and we're at all-time highs. And there's a lot of people and a lot of traders just like me with the same mindset. Go with the strongest name. So we'll be watching to see if we get any follow through. I personally made an entry on Ethereum earlier today and I used the order book. We were watching this resistance right here and we topped out time and time again and it was an ascending triangle pattern as the range got tighter. And I utilized the order book for my entry. The all-time high was up at 1245. So normally I would make an entry at that all-time high resistance wall to break to that all-time high. But the order book showed me the majority of the resistance was at 1240. So if I bought in and broke that 1240 wall, the odds of breaking 1245 and seeing continuation were extremely high. So that's what I did, and I had a stop buy order. Didn't even press a button, just press that stop buy order at 1239.90, and then looked back and saw that my order had filled and we were off to the races. Scaled out a little bit up here in the 1290s, reloaded a little bit in the 1270s, a little bit early on this pullback, but wanted to catch some of that for that same reason, those quick bounces. Sold it on a quick flip in the 1280s, and then I exited the rest of my position. I did get, I had to leave, and I wanted to lock in the profit that I had and anticipated that Bitcoin would have broken, which Bitcoin just held that bounce. So had Bitcoin broken, I would have anticipated a dump to potentially fill some fishing orders is what I call them, just placing them significantly below support in case we do see that flush. So where I stand right now is I am watching for this Bitcoin break. I'm hoping that it breaks in the short term and that we see Ethereum dump down into the low 1200s for some quick short-term bounce gains. Checking in on Litecoin, Litecoin is forming multiple inside bars on the daily time frame. We'll be looking for a break of 238.75 for the bears and a break of 258.75 for the bulls. So nice and easy to remember, $20 spread on that candlestick. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, we do still have a higher low. So this broke on Bitcoin. So Litecoin is slightly more bullish. Let's look at it on Bitcoin. There was that higher low on the 4-hour that broke. And here on Litecoin, higher low on the 4-hour is still there. So that support level is down at 238.75. That's our low of the daily candlestick that we just looked at. And then we're looking down at 231.42. Bulls need to break this little double top almost. 258.75, 259.47. And if we get that bull break from this pattern, we'll be looking to see a bullish MACD cross follow through. But again, the fact that Bitcoin has already broken bearish is maybe a little bit of insight that the odds favor a bear break on Litecoin as well. And if Bitcoin flushes below 14,000, I would absolutely expect Litecoin to see a break of this support. So the daily time frame inside bars is what to be watching. Not a whole lot going on the hourly time frame. Really the 4-hour is where it's at, but this is the same thing just with more details. So tightening range, clear break is coming tonight on Litecoin, favoring the bears due to Bitcoin at this point. Checking in on Ripple, I've been paying attention to Ripple and playing it, again, because the attention that it has, the volatility, the volume, there's been some really nice bounces. So on the daily time frame, we're still in pullback mode. The bulls are trying to hold this 190 level. It's a very clear double bottom of support that must hold, or we're going to flush down towards the mid $1 range. Bear MACD cross Consolidation at this point was marked by multiple inside bars breaking bearish. That break was at 253, and it followed through very significantly, 20% drop, 20+% drop. So where we stand right now, we are still seeing the bulls defend the support, and it's pretty much the same thing as Bitcoin and 14,000. We are correlated to Bitcoin in a lot of these altcoins still, which is continuation from that little FUD event yesterday, in my opinion. But here's that double low at 190, and very clearly we're not doing anything to change this trend right now. The hourly time frame, I'm looking at resistance of 212. The bulls have to see a bull break of these inside bars on the hourly and have to start forming hourly higher lows and higher highs. This is as clear of a downtrend as you can get. There's that beautiful bounce mixed in there, but it's very clear, just lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. That is the textbook definition of a downtrend, and it has to change or we're going to drop and break this support. So there will be a bounce opportunity in XRP as well. And I would be looking, if I were going to play an oversold bounce, if we break 190, I'm going to be looking down at the 170s and the 160s. There's 161 support. So that's where we stand heading into tonight. Going to get this video going, and hopefully 14,000 hasn't broken by then. I appreciate you watching. Do good things.